grade Cougars. So we finished talking about our body systems. We learned about our digestive system, our circulatory system, our respiratory system, our nervous system, and our skeletal system. Now, there are many more systems. We don't have time to do all of them, but I picked those particular ones for a specific reason. And when we start looking at cells, you're gonna find out why. So now and then we did our engineering project, right? You built a knee brace to support your knee. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at cells. We're gonna start with animal cells because we talked about body systems of animals. So an animal cell is like the building block of all living things that are animals, right? All worms, all squirrels, all humans, all monkeys, all elephants, all have animal cells. In second grade, we talked about matter, solid, liquid, and gas. And we talked about how matter is made up of tiny little pieces called atoms. Well, atoms, I said, were like the building blocks of everything around us. Cells are the building blocks of living things, okay? So I'm gonna show you what are some of the things in a cell, and you're gonna see how we connect it to our body systems. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice that there's this little thing on the outside of the cell. That's called the cell membrane. Now, I'm gonna draw, I'm labeling this. Boys and girls, I would like you to draw an animal cell with me and label it in your notebook, okay? And you'll talk about, you can even say what some of these things actually are supposed to represent on the cell. So the cell membrane is kind of like the skin, right? It keeps it all together, but it also is something else. It allows, this membrane has little holes in it and allows air to pass in and out. In our body system, wasn't there something that allowed air to go in and out? Our respiratory system. So the cell membrane is kind of like the respiratory system. It's similar, right? It allows oxygen and carbon dioxide to go in and out of the cell. All right, then there is this thing here. This is called the nucleus. The nucleus is the brain of the cell. It tells the cell what to do. So it reminds me of the nervous system and specifically the brain. So it is the nervous system and specifically the brain. So boys and girls, I want to make sure that you do this in your notebook, okay? Then there is, actually I forgot to put something in here. I'm going to put a little thing here. This is called a vacuole. And a vacuole on a plant cell is usually much bigger, but animal cells also have vacuoles, and it is like a storage facility, right? It can store waste, and it can store nutrients that you haven't used yet. So I'm gonna say it's part of the digestive system. Because it stores waste and it can store nutrients. All right, these are the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is like the digestive system. And because what the mitochondria does is it takes the nutrients that go into your cell and it breaks them apart and gets the energy from them. So the mitochondria is like your digestive system getting energy from nutrients. Okay, now there's something else that's actually not on the picture. We can't really see it. It's all the space all around those things. That is called the cytoplasm. And the cytoplasm is like a jelly-like substance that allows things to move throughout the cell. So it carries nutrients in and oxygen and carbon dioxide out. Gosh, doesn't that sound like the circulatory system? So the cytoplasm is kind of like the circulatory system. Okay, so these are the parts of an animal cell. There are additional parts that are more detailed. We're going to focus on just these, okay? We're going to focus on the cell membrane, like the respiratory system, the nucleus, the brain of the cell, the cytoplasm, the circulatory system for the cell, the mitochondria, kind of like the digestive system, extracting energy from nutrients, the vacuole, storing waste and also storing some excess nutrients. So these are the parts of the cell. Animal cells have a variety of different shapes. And now I'm going to show you something, a fun little project that we're going to do to help you learn more about animal cells. Okay, so you guys, I sent this to your teachers, and you could print this out. And it shows just different cells, animal cells that are in our body. So this is a nerve cell, this is a bone cell, this is a red blood cell, this is a skin cell, this is a intestinal cell, like from your stomach or your large intestine, and this is a muscle cell. So you notice that they all have different shapes because each cell has a different job. But no matter what type of cell it is, all cells need the same things, and they're the same things that living things need. They need food, they need water, they need to be sheltered or protected, and they need air. So those four things are the same things that living things need, animals, and they also are the same things that all cells need. Okay, so you've got this, and then what you're going to do is that you're going to get a colored pencil or whatever and color some of the different cells, color over them different colors if you'd like, and then you're going to cut off this piece. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these in pieces and glue them or tape them onto a piece of construction paper. All right. Okay, so boys and girls, I started with this piece of paper, which you should have, and then I colored all the pieces and I cut them out, and I cut out all of the names and I glued them on a piece of construction paper, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some string and I'm going to cut some string of various lengths. I don't want them all to be the same length. I want them to be different lengths. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the string onto a pencil. I'm going to have one piece down here, one piece of string here with a pencil taped to the pencil. And then I'm going to tape the first cell, cell number 1, onto the string. And then I'm going to tape number 1 nerve cell onto the string. Okay, so now I have kind of like a little part of a mobile. So I'm going to do that with all the rest of the nerves, not nerves, but all the different other cells that I have. I'm going to tape them onto the string, various lengths, and I'm going to have like a little display of some of the different cell types that are in the human body. Okay? I'll be right back, show you some more. Okay, so boys and girls, I finished my little mobile. And I did mine on a pencil. If you did yours on a hanger, it will add more space and you'll be able to see the cells better. So on number 1, I have a nerve cell. Number 2, I have a bone cell. Number 3, I have a red blood cell. Number 4, I have a skin cell. Number 5 is an intestinal cell. And number 6 is a skeletal muscle cell. So even though each cell has a different shape and maybe different color, each cell needs the same things, right? Cells need food, nutrients. Cells need water. Cells need oxygen, and they need to get rid of waste, and they need shelter. Now, the shelter is really just being part of an organism, right? Being part of an animal. So that provides a place for the cell to be safe. But organisms have different strategies by having a skeletal system, a skin, a covering, so that it can protect all the parts of the body. Okay, fourth graders, now that we've finished learning about cells, our first lesson on cells, I want to make sure that you do the following things. I want you to go to BrainPop and watch 2 videos, one on cells, just the general one on cells, and then the one on cell structures. And we're going to learn more about plant cells next week.